Zone 1 hot gas valve, not that hard to diagnose. It's usually going to be code 2152. You'll see Zone 1's evap heating while it's in cool. Usually when a separate zone is in defrost or heat, hot gas actually bleeds past this valve right here. And you'll be able to feel a temperature difference across it. But when you actually go to repair it, you can actually look at it and see that failure itself. So you recover the refrigerant, and you're able to pop this down. Once you recover, you might have a little refrigerant trapped if it's stuck, as you can kind of hear. All it is this and this piston. And this piston moves up and down and it'll get stuck. So once that's off, we're going to go ahead and desolder it. First, and use a sprayer bar on the other side of the evap to pull the line free. So since this is hard solder, you're going to want to heat at the joint. Now that pipe's pulled, there's a 1/4 inch socket. Take the 2 mountain bolts. We're going to heat up the other side. I use slip joints to hold the valve body. And as we're heating this joint, we're just going to jiggle the valve body. Now, if you look inside, you can kind of see that groove, that ring groove that is starting to form, or in this case has formed. All on the inside. And if you're diagnosing it and you've got the refrigerant pulled, you can actually, before pulling this valve out, pull that cap off, you can actually take a pick and drag it along, and you'll feel those ridges inside of it. So we'll set that one to the side. get us a little bit of flux paste. Using Stay Still 45. Normally I'd use a flat stick, copper flat stick, but they are having us use this now. Don't know exactly why. It is more expensive than the flat stick that I would normally use because of the high silver content, which is why we got to use that flux paste, because the actual Stay Still rods itself, this little coil, is mostly silver. It's 45% if I recall correctly, and because of that, you need flux. Unless you're using a orange flux coated rod or blue flux coated rod. If you're using a silver solder, the flat sticks is mostly copper, and so you wouldn't need flux with it. You'd be able to just melt that straight onto the joint. That's gonna be our new valve body. I put flux paste on the male end. Now we're gonna take a rag, a wet rag, and cover up the valve body to keep it from heating, because you don't want to get any excess heat inside the internals. On these ones, you're not supposed to take them apart. You can, you're not supposed to, but there is temperature sensitive components inside of it. Hence why we are going to cover it with a wet rag before we start heating up the joints. Now we got our wet rag on, put our flux on, put just a little dab more. Heat at the joint. I'm actually going to reduce this flame a little bit first. We're going to heat the joint. You're going to see the solder pool and start flowing. Flux paste actually acts as a capillary action. That's what draws the solder into the joint to seal it. So after I join it, take a mirror, make sure there's no obvious gaps in the solder flow itself. until we get this other joint on and leak check. But put a little bit more water on the rag, get it wet. So go back to our flux paste. Put some on the male end on this side. And that same pipe that I pulled to get it out of the way, I'm going to push it back into place. We just want to line it up. We got it somewhat seated. So we go back to the torch now. We're going to heat up the pipe. That pipe we just seated is going to start sliding off. So as we heat it up, we're going to want to put a little bit of pressure on the back side. Hopefully your torch isn't as finicky as this one.